So I just want to make a quick video about how I use my spiral mixer. It's the Famag 20. It's a great mixer, especially for home use and for microbakeries. I did have a few issues when I first got the mixer, mostly down to my process. Over the last few weeks, I've got a good system that I would like to share. I like to keep mixing to a minimum, especially when using these spiral mixers. It's very easy to overmix your dough using this mixer, which will then cause issues during the bulk fermentation process. In this video, I will explain how I use it, how I clean it. I'll also do a bulk fermentation. I'll explain how I'm doing it with the mixer, all the way up to the end. It'll be a pretty long video, about half an hour or so. And in the follow-up video, I would like to explain how I use the Rackmaster 2020 to bake off the bread. And that will come a few days after this video here. So I want to get all my ingredients to room temperature. The flour is at 22.1 and the water is about 23.2. I want to get to a dough temperature of 25. So, and the room is about 25. So that should be good to maintain. It's not that hot anymore. The mixer itself is going to add about 1 degree while mixing, but we're not going to be mixing it that long. So, okay, I'm going to throw it in. So I'm going to tip in all the water, about 50 ml. This is 74% hydration, so I like to keep a little bit for the salt, probably a bit more than that. So I'll put this here. I like to use a little jug. So that's good. That's about all we need, just for the salt. I'm doing 15 sourdough here, so I've currently put in 4.8 litres. I've got my salt and my water left on the side just for the last part. It's about 150 mils. It's probably a bit too much, but we might use some of that while we blend the flour into there. So this is my starter. She's peaked. You can see it's gradually starting to drop, only in the last 10 minutes. If I do that, it should start sinking a bit. Yep, so let's go. It's good. Yeah, it's nice and creamy. It's good, hasn't broken down. I like that. I'm going to add 1.5 kilo, 1500 to this mix. It's floating good. So the water and the starter's in the mixer. On speed 1, I'm going to mix that through until it's just broken down, and with the water, not too long. It should start breaking down more. Yep, the water's starting to get a bit dark, which is good. So I think that's enough. It's enough mixed. In this bucket, I've got whole wheat flour and white flour. I left it out overnight so they can get to room temperature. I actually have a oven set up here at 25 degrees. And overnight, I will put my ingredients that I want to mix the next day in here so that they get to room temperature. It's got a heating mat connected to an ink bird just in this oven, which I don't use that often, next to my bread oven. So I'm going to add the flour bit by bit, just a little bit there, bring that up. You want to mix this in with the water. You don't want to get dry parts on the bottom. So we'll mix that until you can't see flour. Longer. Sometimes I like to get a spatula and just make sure the corners are all caught. Use the breaker bar. Then add some more flour. Now I'm going to add the rest. I want to mix this on the first speed for 4 minutes. So now that I've got all the flour and all the water and all the starter in here, I'm going to mix it until it's combined and there's no dry parts. You don't want to be over mixing here. I'll keep the camera on here so you guys can see. But I just want to mix it until it's combined. Because after this we're going to autolyse, or because it's got the starter in it, I'm going to call it like fermentolyse. I'm going to use a bit more of the water to drop it down the sides. And a little bit in there. You just need enough for the salt to be finished. I'm not seeing much more dry parts. Let's just stop it for a minute. I'm going to scrape down the sides and make sure that it's completely got no dry parts in the mix. So after about 2 or 3 minutes, it's in a good spot. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to cover it with a towel and rest that for about 30 minutes. Okay, so after 30 minutes, dough still looks the same, but you'll notice after one spin, it will come together. Just going to do a quick dough temp check. I'm at 25.5. A little bit higher than I want to be, but that's okay. I've got the salt and I'm just adding a bit. I've already done some before. I've thrown it on top. I just want to mix it for a few seconds. You'll notice after the autolyse, it's already gone pumpkin. I'm going to open that up. Throw the rest of the salt. And the rest from down there, in there. Can you get my water? Get some water in there. Just wrap this tops a bit. Yeah. I've still got about this much to go, which I'm going to add as it's spinning. So I'm going to spin that up. I'm going to mix this for 2 minutes. So for 2 minutes, we're going to mix this with the rest of the water that I have. Just throw this down the side. So you don't want to mix this too long now. The biggest mistake I made when I first had this mixer, I was over mixing, and it was summer, so it was even harder, and it was just, it wouldn't rise, and I was just having so much issues. You want to keep mixing to a minimum. So we just want to blend that till that salt is in and the dough's not wet anymore. I'm going to do most of the gluten building in stretching folds. This is only 74% hydration. If I was to do 78, you can still do it this way, but you'd have to hold back a little bit more water because you want to mix this at around about 70% hydration. So we're going good. I've got a timer on my phone here, so I'll wait for that to... You don't need to get a window test. I mean, you don't need a window pane like some people do, because you're going to do that on a stretching fold. Okay, 2 minutes is finished. So we've added the salt. Everything's in there. We've mixed it for 2 minutes after the autolyse. We're going to rest this for 5 minutes now. And then we're going to come back and we're going to mix it for about 30 seconds. And that's it. We're going to pour it out the mixer. Okay, so after 5 minutes, I'm just going to mix this for about 30 seconds. You'll notice it's all coming together. You don't want to overdo this, so it's nice and smooth. And that's it. I'm going to stop even faster than 30 seconds because it will break down so fast. But yeah, so that's good. I'm going to pour it out and put it in my tubs. So now you can get in here on the last part. All the dough's out. Just use the scraper, get it out. It's all mixed. I've got my tubs here that I'm using for bulk ferment. This is for olive. I'll show you what I do for stretch and folds. But yeah, so the mixer, the thing I like to do most is get as much dough out of this and add water to it as fast as I can. It keeps cleaning so much easier. So I'll get all this out and then I'll add water. So I've got some water with soap in it. It's warm. I'll throw that in there like so. I've got a scour pad. I'm not going to clean it right now completely, but I just like to just give it a quick little scrub. Don't put salt on your guard like I did. I've got a bit of corrosion from it. I will order a new guard at some point, but yeah, don't go putting salt through the guard. Open it up and put salt that way. I'm going to cover this up and I'll clean that properly in between the stretch and folds. I've got the dough in the tubs. I like that to rest about 5 minutes before I do a quick fold, which I'll come back to. Also, I almost forgot, I want to do a dough temp check. I usually do it in the mixer, but it's only been a few minutes and we're at 25.9. That will drop because the room temperature is 24.9. It will even out. 25 is where I like to be at. Some people like to be 26, 24. For me, 25 is a good temperature. So I've got my 2 tubs here. Yeah, today's pretty bad weather. It's very humid. Okay, so I've got my 2 tubs here. And they're very shaggy, but I'm going to stretch and fold these 2 doughs. Put my hands in water. Grab it. Bring it up. Turn it around. Up. Turn it around. Up. I'm just going to do this every 30 minutes for 2 hours. So that's the first stretch and fold. And this is the bigger dough. There. There. Taking out 100 grams of the dough. Can you see it? There we go, focused. I want to get to a 50% rise. So that's when I know my bulk fermentation will be finished. It's roughly about 5 hours to 6 hours at 25 degrees. so I can watch this through that jar. So it's a pretty good way of telling when your bulk is finished. You can also draw lines on your tubs, which I probably will do as well. Okay, so half an hour later, I come back. I have flattened this one so I can do a test on the side. This one, you'll notice it's relaxing, but it's not completely relaxed. So I will do another stretch and fold here, but this one and this one might only need one more, depending on how they look next time. I'll bring it up. Turn it around. Looking really good. Don't want to be stretching too far now because we've used the spiral mixer. If I was hand mixing, I'd be doing a lot more stretching, but we're pretty much just turning this to even out the heat. Yes, this is good. These doughs are, they're not going to need much more stretch and folds after this. This one's going to get olives in half an hour. We're sitting at 25.7, so that's good. It's dropping a little bit. I'll put on my sheet here, day temp, stretch and fold, which was 130, 25.8 still. I also put the start time, I put the starter in, and then I'll go 5 hours. So I know at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. in between here, I will put it in a banneton. Yeah, so I do this production sheet too. I even got when I did my starter the night before, got the math here. I also cleaned the mixer in between the stretch and folds, so it's very clean. I use sanitizer afterwards, just a little bit. Just so on the third stretch and fold, the temperature's gone down. No, it's still 25.8, so it's staying the same. You notice it's not really flattening. I think this is okay. I'm going to skip this fold, and on the fourth I might give it just a little fold coil, just so I can even out the heat. But this one, I don't want to overdo it because you don't want the crumb to be tight. You want a bit of a loose crumb. This one's my olive one, and even though it's a bit tighter, I will stretch it and put the olives on. I'll show you how I do that. So I'll wet my hands, push that one over here. This is going to be the olive inclusions. Don't want to knock too much out of it. That's nice. I like to put rosemary herbs, just a little bit. I'll grab the olives, push it over. And I'll save some for the next stretch and fold. Alright, so now we're on the final stretch and fold if we need it. Yeah, I'll give this one a coil very gently. Don't want no air out of it. This is the olive one. I'll add the rest of the olives, and that will be done. And then I'll leave this for 2 to 3 hours to finish the bulk ferment. I'll just do a final temp check. We're on 25.6. So yeah, I'm very happy. So that's the end. Got a nice bubble going on. But yeah, so I'll leave this now for a few hours until it goes to the banneton. Okay, so it's been about 5 hours. We've got about 30% rise. These are looking good. They're relaxed. Might give this another half an hour. Just that a bit. My hand a bit more. So we're sitting at a good 25.5. So we've had a pretty consistent dough temp. It's been a good day for it. So yeah, this will be another half an hour on the bench, and then I'll put it in the banneton and give it a bit more proof then as well. So now I'm going to shape the dough. I've got two ways of doing it. My flour. I use flour, not rice flour. Rice flour kind of allergic to it a little bit. It makes me sneeze non-stop. So I've got a few ways of doing it. I've got this way, stretch it over the top. That's my favorite one to do. I like to give it a bit of an angle, like so, and then I'll roll it this way. All depends on how the dough feels when I pick it up. This is a little one, and I'll put this little baby one in here, like so. Now line these up. But I like to go over and just stitch, not too much, just get a bit of tightness on the outer, the surface tension, just a little bit more. Any bubbles on the top, you can pop them. Let me get my thermometer. It's playing up on me a lot lately, but let's get that in there. I won't move the camera, I'll just say we're at 24.4, so we are dropping 24.3. That temperature has dropped. So my bulk ferment isn't going to be a little bit longer than I thought. So I'm going to do it by eye now through the banneton. Also, the jar, it's almost on 150. It's on about 140. So I'm going to dust the top of these. I'm going to leave these for another 20 minutes, and then I will put them in the fridge. I've got my cooch I love to use. Always, it's never big enough. Bring this in. All right. I'm going to let this bench rest for about 20 minutes. Sorry, boys, you ain't getting covered up that much. There you go. These are in a good spot. I'm going to put them in the fridge. I've already put half in the fridge, and they should prove a little bit more in 24 hours. So yeah, so it's good. So now they're all in the fridge, which is set to 2 degrees. I like it a bit colder because I will cold ferment for 24 to 38 hours. In my next video, I will bake off the dough that we made in the spiral mixer, and we will bake it off in the Rackmaster 2020 oven. It's a great oven as well, and hopefully that will come out in the next couple of days. So I hope you enjoyed this video and it wasn't too long. Hopefully you've learned some techniques how to use the spiral mixer to make better sourdough at home. I really enjoyed making this video, so I will make more future content, hopefully soon.